Oh, yeah.
It's the great.
Time is here for the next year here by the time we get there. Good evening. I thank you all for attending our second night of the candidates forum for the Plymouth Town Council. We appreciate all of you coming. I thought last night was a great night for it to be the first night, and we expect even more tonight. My name is Wesley Stokes. I am president of the Washington County Think Tank for Community Solutions. We have normally done these types of forums before. Everything all right? We've done these forums before. We've been doing them since 2017. And last night, after I just briefly talked about the Washington County Think Tank, and someone asked me more information last night, and I gave it to them, but let me give all of this to all of you that are present. The Washington County Think Tank for Community Solutions was organized in July 2015. In January of 2020, our local paper, the Roanoke Beacon, named the organization as the 7th best thing to happen in that decade. The think tank is built upon Proverbs 31:8, and it is to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, ensure justice for those being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless, and see that they get justice. So that is what the Think Tank for Community Solutions was founded upon. The members consist of citizens throughout Washington County. Prior to the pandemic, we met monthly at each municipality, and we are getting back to that now. The committee identified 9 concerns that we wanted to improve or change or implement so that Washington County would have growth. The 9 concerns were healthcare, education, diversity in law enforcement, census completion, beautification of the county, a strategic plan for economic development, recreation and cultural arts, youth engagement, and community college offering skill building classes. Some of the accomplishments of the think tank where we hosted local candidate forums in the municipalities of Plymouth, Roper, and Crestwood. We sponsored the Student Speak Up, where we brought the parents, the teachers, and the students together. We separated the students from the adults, and each group was told to come up with a theme. And the kids said, "We need you to act." The parents said, "We need you to know that we love you." So the thing that came out of that was, if you love me, you will act. So that is the goal that we took after that. Some things that we've done, other things, we've assisted in planning and facilitating a Washington County Pillars Banquet. We were instrumental in establishing Agape Health Service Center that is right in front of the courthouse. Because I don't know if you all know it, the county was getting ready to deny that service. And we moved swiftly when we heard that that was going to be denied. We moved swiftly, gathered citizens together, and went before the board, and that happened. So when I passed by there and knowing that these Medicaid cuts that are coming, that center may be a saving point for the citizens of Washington County, because rural hospitals are going to be closed. Another thing that we did, and this was the think tank working along with other organizations, we had Dr. James Johnson Jr., who is the William R. Keenan Jr., Distinguished Professor of Strategy and Entrepreneurship and the Director of Urban Investment Strategies at the School of UNC Chapel Hill. He is a distinguished member. We had him down, and unfortunately, and this was in 2022 that we had him down, and unfortunately, not many of our elected officials attended that. Now, Dr. Johnson is somebody that if you get him, you got to pay about $10,000. And we had him down to look at Washington County, compare it to the state, compare it to the nation, and giving us some ideas of strategies that we could improve. So for those of you who win this election, we're going to be calling upon you to let you know when we bring these distinguished people in. Vitalize Eastern North Carolina. We collaborated with them and we came up with the name of Vitalize Eastern North Carolina. And that is how we got Dr. Johnson down. And also in 2023, we had Michelle Baker Sanders, who was our guest speaker, and she was the Commerce Secretary of North Carolina. But again, unfortunately, elected officials from other counties were there. But unfortunately, Washington County only had a few. So things are offered that we need to make sure, and you need to make sure that you elect people that are going to attend these types of functions. I'll throw this out, and then I'll tell who else is helping to sponsor this event. Next month, November the 8th, in Williamson, North Carolina, at the old Williamson High School, we have invited all General Assembly members who represent the 23 counties of the Eastern North Carolina Civic Group. Republican, Democrat, Black, white. If you hold an office in the General Assembly in the 23 counties of the organization, we have invited them in. We've not gotten some responses from some. So if you all know our representative, Goodwin and Sanderson, you need to ask them, are they going to accept our invitation? Because as of now, we've not heard from them. But also helping to sponsor this event tonight, we have the Turl County CDC, and the director of the Turl County CDC is Mavis Hill. Mavis, where are you going? You need to introduce your organization, and then Mr. Matthews will introduce himself and the entity enterprise.
Good evening to everyone. So glad that you are out. My name is Mavis Hill. I am Executive Director of Carroll County Community Development Corporation, located in serve primarily Washington County, or whoever picks up the phone calls me or comes in our door. We don't turn anyone away. We work with individuals who are interested in starting their business, expanding their business, helping them to find funding for the business, helping them to develop business plans. We do the hand holding and daily help where we're going to help them to get a loan. We have a health and wellness program that we host once a year at the Vernon James Center in Roanoke. Next year's program will be on Good Friday in Easter Sunday. We also do leadership development, and we also have a Second Chance Alliance and reentry program, helping those who have had minor breaks with the law. We finished back in September. We did gun violence prevention program. With the funder, we were able to get funds to host a symposium and to also do driver's license restoration. So whatever, assistance that the community needs, we're here to try our best. If we don't have that particular skill in our wheelhouse, we have plenty of partners that we're able to network with and to get you the assistance that you need. Thank you.
Ms. Matthews?
Good evening, everyone. I'm president of Entity Enterprise, which is the organization that we got cooperated with the Secretary of State in around 2000. But we were active probably 10 years prior to that. Our whole goal was to try to impact land losses that were happening in Black families all along the Black Belt. We made contacts with from Virginia to South Carolina, trying to educate the public on what we can do and must do to try to preserve some of the land. You guys probably, let me tell you about me. You know, I came here, when I say here, I'm talking about this area in 1974 for a 2-year stay. I worked at warehouse and paper company as an engineer, different managerial level, retired in 2003. From that point, it was all about trying to stop the exodus of our youth. You know, we, high school in Plymouth, all these small towns are suffering the same issue. We educate our kids in high school, send them to college, and they had no reason to come back to our communities. That's why we're in a stressful situation right now. So my goal since 2003 was to try to impact and reverse that trend. So in terms of what we've done lately is one message that I want to give all of you. We found on the health side of it, we made contact back in May in Richmond County, conference down there. A veterinarian came to the conference, and the learning that I got from that was that so many, I don't know if any medical doctors in here, I don't want to hurt any feelings, but so many of the illness that we experience in our lives, I'm talking about kidney problems, heart problems, dementia, the whole 9 yards, could very well be caused by parasites. And the only way you'll be able to determine that is to have your stool sample tested for parasites. Now, the medical doctors are in denial, my understanding, from taking this stand. So you really have to go to a veterinarian and have them test your stool sample, and then get a certified report from the veterinarian and take to your medical doctor so they can give you a prescription to any of the parasites that impact any of our pets. We can get it from the food, from the supermarket, from the vegetables. And I know this is a little bit different from, I'm just giving you an update on what we've been doing. So if you have any further questions, please get in contact with me and I can forward you on to somebody who can be able to give you some definitive understanding of what may be happening in your bodies. Now, may I introduce?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So that's what the Entity Enterprise is all about, and we are connected. We connected with Advanced Carolina. We connected with Black Voters Matter. We're a C3 organization, and we really don't endorse anyone. But what we do is we try to educate the community in total on who really has our best interests at heart, looking at economics, health, social justice, the whole 9 yards. So that's uh, that's the spill on the Energy Enterprise. We're headquartered in Williamson, North Carolina, and uh, just here to serve. That's all. That's all goal.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Thank you, Mavis, for that. And also, I forgot to mention an organization agency that's for Greater Eastern North Carolina. They sponsor cultural arts. Just this past weekend, they had, what was his name, Mavis? I had to go to my wife's class reunion, so I missed it. But they had this professional artist that played xylophones. They've had a youth tap dancing team. They give concerts all the time. And this is just trying to bring cultural arts to our area. They've had people that it would take almost moving a mountain to come to Washington County. They performed here. So we just want you all to know that so much is going on, so many things are being done in our community. And kind of as the mayor said last night, we don't give ourselves credit for what's being done. So, and again, all of those organizations are nonpartisan. All of them are nonpartisan. And I want to thank, before I sit down, I want to thank Lieutenant Simpson and retired Chief Willie Williams for the Explorers participating to help us in the event last night and tonight. I want to thank my friend Kermit Stancy for videoing the event. It's on Facebook. So if you've got any friends that are home, you can text them and tell them to they can even go to my page because he's broadcasting it to my page as well. Let them go to Wesley Stubbs' Facebook page and they can see this. I want to thank my classmate, Mary Cherry. I saw her walk in. She's going to be our timekeeper for tonight. And I want to thank Coach Cody for coming out, giving us the rules and where to vote. He is our Board of Elections chair. Two people tonight, I just want to say 2 people for tonight contacted me and said they would not be able to attend. Councilman Wappleton will not be able to attend. He's got Bible study and he's a preacher. And Miss Pig will not be able to be here as well. And I think both of them are Ward 2. I think both of them are. Okay, so at this time, Coach Cody will give us the rules, and then Mr. Matthews will follow that in introducing our moderator.
Well, we wanted to talk about some good news. You know, the general election last time we had it in November, the first day of voting, percentage-wise of our little county, we were in the New York Times for having more votes on the first day of early voting. Okay, that's something. How many people knew that? Well, you know it now. You know that's really good. All right, tonight I spent all night last night. You know, after I got up here yesterday, you know, and I knew I was right, but I backed on off. But tonight I'm gonna make sure that we know what we're talking about when we leave. So I'm gonna do a better job. There's 2 ways to listen. You know, you either listen to respond or you listen to understand. And if you're listening to respond, you ain't hearing. All right, early voting. All right, which is at Washington County Board of Elections. That's on 37 East Mill Pond Road, Roper, North Carolina. That's the old Washington County Middle School. Starts tomorrow. Door was down and setting it up today, October 16th, and then on Friday the 17th. The following week is going to be all week, 20 to the 24th. It's going to start at 8:30, and they'll stop at 5 o'clock every night. Okay, all right, and then the following week that's 8:30 to 5 o'clock. And they're going to have one Saturday That'll be on November the 1st, 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Now that's 13 days. If you really want to vote, you can travel those 6 miles down there and you ain't got to worry about a precinct or anything. What they'll have, and I want to make sure we understand this, is when you go in there to vote, they're going to have 3 different ballot styles. Why is that? Because we have 3 different wards. We do not vote in wards. Okay, let's make sure we understand it. I will reemphasize that. We vote off residential addresses. All right, during early voting, all voters will walk in and you'll be given a ballot based on their residential address. And you know, maybe a residential address is where you live. All right. You'll also have to show some type of ID, which is a nice foot driver's license or last 4 digits of the Social Security. All right. I'll get into that on repair vote. All right. On that ballot, on everybody's ballot, who we calling? It must be Jesus. Okay. On the ballots that you have, every ballot is going to have the 3 mayor candidates. Okay. Every ballot that has been printed out in Washington County has those 3 names on it. Now, depending on your residential address, will determine whether you get a Ward 1 with the candidates and you'll vote for them, or a Ward 2 or a Ward 3. And make yourself clear. You got a question? Or no questions? All right. Yes.
I used to be in one ward and it's been changed. I'm not real sure about the wards now.
Hang on for that question. I will have the answer. I didn't have that answer last night with a couple, but I'm gonna have it tonight. I promise. You poke the old big dog, he's gonna come back. He's ready. He's ready tonight. Yes, sir. All right, election day. It's gonna be on. If you ain't got time for the first 13 days and you let it slip your mind that you need to go vote on November the 4th, you're gonna have from 6:30 in the morning to 7 o'clock that night. All right. For your ward, listen up. A ward is not a place to vote. A ward is a political division of a city used for electing officials. While a voting place is the physical location where you cast your ballot. Wards are often larger than a single voting area. So sometimes what will happen is if one ward is crowded out, they're going to send you over to the First Baptist Church, which is P1, Plymouth 1, or over here to the housing, or over to P3, which is Victory Christian Fellowship, and you'll go over there, and guess what you'll do? Don't worry about your ward. You will go over there. Your residential address says you need to go to First Christian Church. So you go over there, you walk in, and they look at your residential. They see that you got your driver's license. They give you a ballot. Now, what did I just say? There's 3 different kinds of ballots, right? So there could be 3 different wards that be voting in that same place. I'll make myself clear. Just like you did over at early voting. If you go to early voting, if me and you go to early voting, we walk in and they give us a ballot. I voted in Ward 1. Uh-oh, you voted in Ward 2. There's not going to be a problem, right? Because it's early voting. There's not a precinct. I'll make it even clearer here in a second.
Got a question.
Huh? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
This is good.
Yeah.
I love it.
It goes, you said it goes by the address.
Residential address.
All right. Wonder if the address on your driver's license don't match up with the address that they have for you for this year.
This will be a provisionary ballot for you, which means that you will fill it out with who you want to vote for, but you will then give it to the chief judge and he'll stick it in a envelope. And when the Board of Elections comes together, we're going to look at those ballots one by one. And then if we're not real sure, we'll call you in and ask you why is that? You'll still get a second opportunity to explain why that happened. Is that good? All right. Now, getting back to the ward there. So the ward's too big in a single voting area. Therefore, a ward is divided into precincts. Now, what is a precinct? A precinct is a place to vote. That is I'm going to get to that. I might as well just, precinct is the smallest geographical unit for an election. Each precinct has its own assigned polling place. It breaks up the ward so there's not so many people going to the First Christian Church. What you'll have is about the same number, so the votes are all finished at the same time. Remember that last discussion last night? Couldn't figure out what a precinct was? That was different from a ward. Did I explain that well? Huh? Because a ward is not a place to vote. All right. Now, a larger ward will often contain multiple precincts. I just stated that. You know, if it's too big, you might be voting over in three different, Ward 2 people may be voting right over here at the housing. They might be voting over the Christian place. They might be over Victory Christian. But they're still voting just like you would if you went to early vote. You wouldn't even need a precinct because guess what? There ain't but one precinct, and that's down at Roper School for 13 days. All right, let's move on here. What time? Don't know about that time tonight. Didn't have enough last night. All right. At your polling place on election day, see if this doesn't sound familiar. At your polling place, and this is election day. That's because you missed those 13 days of early voting. You will be given a ballot based on residential address. There it is again. All right, same three major candidates, mayor candidates, different wards, candidates based on residential address. Okay. All right, well, I just named those off, but I'll quickly name them again. The polling places. They could be called precincts. Well, we're going to call them polling places just for right now. All right, you got your Lee's Mill, which is the early voting place, which is 37 Mill Pond Road. And then these three that got kind of confused last night, I backed off. I said, man, I ain't going to have a debate with you. Let me tell you something. Plymouth 1 is nothing but a title. Plymouth 1 don't have nothing to do with a ward. It's just a title. My wife said, daggone man, if she would have just named it Plymouth A, you would have had no problem. I said, you're right. Plymouth A, then you wouldn't have worried about Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3. Huh? What do you think there? Well, we're going to call it Plymouth 1 because that's the name of it, P1. And if you'll notice, I'm going to tell you something. When you get your ballot this time, you take a hold of your ballot, and in the right-hand corner, you're going to see either P1, P2, or P3. And in the left-hand corner, you're going to see my autograph. That's what that ballot's going to look like at the top. When you get it at any of these voting sites, you're going to get the same picture. So the P1 is the First Christian Church. All right, that's over there at East Main Street. Plymouth 2 is the Housing Authority. That's right over there. Ain't got nothing to do with the ward. It's right over there. I promise you. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Okay, now, kind of pump me up. All right. Victory Christian Fellowship is P3. Scoopanock is Crestwell. We ain't want to worry about that, but that's down at Crestwell High School. All right, let's get to do the repair vote. If for some reason this summer, you're too late now, but a repair vote letter, if you were sent a letter in the mail asking for your driver's license or the last 4 digits of your social security number, and you did not take care of this, you will vote a provisional ballot, which I have just stated would be you get to vote for everything you want to, but we're going to stick it in this envelope, and the Board of Election is going to take a look at it and decide whether we're going to count that or not. Thank you. Appreciate it. Most of the 231 people that was sent these letters have already taken care of it. I would say everybody here ain't got nothing to worry about. All right. All right, the last page here, and then I'm going to go because I need to get some sleep. I got to go babysit tomorrow. Let's go over 3 things. Your residential address, okay, that's where you live. Number 2, the residential address will tell you which representatives that you're going to pick out in either Ward 1, Ward 2, or Ward 3. A precinct, an area marked for a specific purpose, like voting. Early voting, down there in Washington County Union. And then if you wait till election day, it's the P1, P2, P3. All right, is there any questions tonight? I'm ready. Ooh, feeling good. All right. Oh, yes. Too much time? Right.
A letter
Yes.
saying that you have been opted out.
Ooh, is that what you got?
No, I don't, but I know some.
Okay.
And, you've been voting all along. Every
Correct.
time the election comes, you vote. But now, since the last election, you have been opted out. So.
Correct. I tell you what you need to do. Number 1, I would call Dora, 793-6017. However, tomorrow is the first day of early voting. Is it a she? A he. He could go down there and give him his residential address, and he'll probably find out that he's one of them 231 that maybe didn't come in and do what he's supposed to about giving his driver's license or last 4 digits of Social Security. And what she would do, what a little girl would, before give her ballot, would say, look, will you go over there to the provisionary table? They are going to have a provisionary table set up for the next 13 days. Ain't going to happen on election day. But if you go early, one of the first 13 days, they'll probably take care of you. Now, I can't guarantee that, but I would bet you should find a way. Remember the old one-stop voting? You could go down there and register up, and turn around, get your ballot, and you're ready to go. I think that'd probably happen. Great question. Great question. You know? Oh, yeah, right.
I just want you to just remind the public that for 2 council people in your ward, because a lot of people don't even know.
Okay. When you get your ballot, it is really important that if you get Ward 1 ballot, it says vote for 2. So if it says vote for 2, you circle in 2 ovals for 2 people. That's what you do. You know, there's a lot of people don't do that. That's a great question. So it will tell you vote for 2. And then you vote for 2 people. That's what it means. If it says vote for 1 person, hey man, that means vote for only 1 person. Yes, great
So
question.
who's gonna help the people that don't know how to read?
Oh, that is a fabulous question. And you know what? I have the answer for that. Any relative can come in with them. Make sure that you check at the desk along with them as they get their ballot. you will write your name on what they call an assistant voting this time, okay? God, man, it's a brand new thing they've come out. You will sign your name there. And the reason they're gonna do that is so that you don't come in there with 19 people and sign your name 19 times, because none of these people can read. Yeah, they're gonna try to, like, people used to drive in with buses and 31 people get off, and all of a sudden, here come 31 people vote. Him day is over. Yeah, that was tricky, man, but it took a while to figure that out, but yeah. Another question? Oh, this is so much fun. Yes, yes.
I don't.
You may stop.
But does it have to be a relative?
A relative or someone assigned to, let's say, like the Roanoke development, they took, I tell you, all I saw was relative.
So if you were my friend and I couldn't read, and I go in and say, I want Coach Cody to help me.
Man, you caught me. That might be one I don't know right now. But I'm more honest to tell you, I just don't know right now on that.
I'm almost positive that they would. That I would say, like for Wesley to come in this booth.
Right.
And help me.
Oh, no, you know what, I can't answer that. Man, I just thought about this. I'm on top today. Let's say you do come in by, say, for some reason you get there by yourself. You can actually ask one of the people that are volunteering, working in the voting, and they could help you. Yes, that's right. Man, that's great. Oh, man, off the top of my head, huh? Okay, let's go. Got another one? All right, I hope we've cleared everything up from last night. If there's any questions about that, I'd love to take it. If not, I'm done. All right, thanks a lot. Enjoyed being here. Hey, did I answer your question? Did I answer your question well enough?
I still don't know what ward I'm in, but where
look.
where is there a map showing the precincts? Is there one?
There is something I learned about this afternoon. When I called Dora, she said that the maps and the wards have been drawn so many different times so that everybody get an equal number of people in their ward. I would call 793-6017 and ask her what ward you're voting for. Okay? But regardless of whether you know that or not, if you go with your residential address, they will give you the correct ballot. But you'd like to know whether you're voting for Ward 1, 2, or 3 before you go in there, wouldn't you? Okay? I would call Dora and just ask her. Or go down there.
Looks like it would have been easy to print a map with the precincts.
You know, Ann said that this afternoon. It would have been so nice to print a map and put it in a paper.
I put a map on Facebook, but I couldn't find it now.
Correct. Well, that's something we've got to do a better job. Maybe we can go to the think tank and they come up with a way to do that better.
We could.
Huh? Dora. Okay, now I ain't gonna give her a cell. Let me give her the regular number. The 6017. All right. Is that it? Arthur, you got any questions?
Ashley
Do a better job tonight.
Ashley is on the website.
Oh, what? It's actually on the website. Excellent. Go up on the website, the Washington County Board of Election website.
NCBOE.
Here we go.
NCBOE.gov. And,
You want to write that down?
What?
You want to write this down? Think what she's saying. NC.
I don't do webs.
Okay.
I let Joy take care of it.
Okay. He gets you up there. Yeah, North Carolina Board of Elections. That's it. NCBOE. Well, I spelled it right, Okay. All right. Oh, Wesley, I think I'm done. Yes. Oh, yeah, great.
How long do you have to wait to start seeing the results? Is this something that the Board of Election is constantly refreshing?
No.
Naturally, or
No.
wait until-
You gotta wait till November the 4th after 7:30. That's a great question. It'd make you think they would start doing that, but they don't. Yeah. I think the reason there may be that, if you're early voting, you see you're behind, you may figure out a way to cheat or something, run a few more extra people in there, try to vote by mail, come back, vote, early voting and then slip over here during election day. You just can't do that no more. All right, we got any other questions? Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk tonight. Wesley, you're back up. Oh, you're back up, big man. All right. All right, I gotta go home and cut down on you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You grow and learn all the time. We made a mistake yesterday in not having, doing a prayer before we started. And we don't make the same mistake twice. And I'm not gonna be the one that's doing the praying either. So after I introduce our moderator, we're gonna ask Patricia to kind of give us a prayer, please. I want you to, Patricia Smith is a native of Williamson, North Carolina, and the mother of 4 successful, productive children. She graduated from the former Williamson High School in Williamson, North Carolina in 1984. During her high school tenure, she developed a passion for numbers and assisting people with their finances. She later continued to use that passion to pursue a career in the accounting field. In order to develop the educational skills needed to perform properly in her endeavors, she attended both Virginia Commonwealth and Catlin University. She continued to obtain annual continuing education and holds multiple degrees and certification in legal assisting, accounting, and auditing. In 1994, she relocated back to North Carolina and started P&L Legal Services in downtown Williamson, where she contracted out legal assisting and perform accounting and bookkeeping services. While assisting clients with their financial, family, and estate needs, it gave her the push to become more active in the community. In 1995, she was appointed to serve on the Maritime County Human Relations Board for 2 terms, reporting to the Maritime County Commissioner. She was also an active member of the NAACP under the tutelage of then President Mr. George Buck White. In 1998, she merged with her sisters to start the first Jackson Hewitt tax service in Williamson, North Carolina. In 2000, she decided to branch back out on her own under the name of Professional Financial Solutions. She later opened additional offices in Ahoskie, Plymouth, Robertsonville, and Charleston, South Carolina, where they not only offered accounting services, but also offered IRS, debt resolution, and business startups. In 2006, she was appointed to serve on the former Martin Community Action Executive Board. In 2013, she was designated to serve as treasurer of the board. She served diligently until she resigned in 2015. Because Patricia has a zeal to serve her community and surrounding areas, she continues to remain active. Among her multiple activities, she presently serves as the treasurer of the Maritime County Democratic Party, where the organization informs, educates, and assists the community of their voting rights, location, and opportunities. I present to you Patricia Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Matt.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so we're back at it again tonight. First, we're going to offer up a prayer and give thanks and ask God to intervene in some attitudes and speeches and all of that good stuff. And then after we have the prayer, I'm going to ask that we just take a brief break to have refreshments, or I think they have pizza again tonight. Okay, so we'll do that and then we'll come back with the candidates. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for prayer. Father, we thank you for allowing us to come together again tonight. And God, as we intervene into this candidacy forum on tonight, God, I ask that you will put us all on one accord. Bring forth some unity in this building, God, and allow them to answer the questions productively. We thank you for all that you've already done, God, and everything that you're about to do. And Father, we ask that you will bless the food on tonight as we prepare to intake on it, God. We ask that it be nourishment to our body, bringing no hurt, harm, or danger. And we thank you. We give you all the praise and all the glory, for it belongs to you. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen. Okay, so I think we did size last night. We're going to start on that side tonight. We're going to ask the explorers if they would come on up now so that we can begin to serve. And then once that side over there is served, then we'll come over to this side and let everyone be served and get right into our forum. And I'm not for sure what happened to the guys right out in Charlie. And I don't know if there was I didn't understand anything they had said. I couldn't hear it. I hope it wasn't the.
I didn't know that.
That's how I feel.
Ladies.
That's where the
So I don't know what and then I just
Yeah, that brings more down the highway.
that was too much. Plus the
Okay, I think everyone has been served.
Yes.
I think everyone has been served now. Okay, so I would like to ask that the candidates for Ward 2 and Ward 3 come to the front. Ward 2 and Ward 3, please come to the front. Have a seat at the table.
Does it matter which, maybe we said it.
Well, if we can get 2 on this side and 3 over there, or 2 on that side and 3 over here, that's fine.
Well, he's coming up here. He's more through.
So this table represents 3, all 4 people. Okay, and you're the only one here for 2?
Can I have Coach Cody come?
Okay, so we'd like to thank you for coming out tonight and participating in the forum. I want to just remind everyone, if you would, if you have your phones, if you would tell your friends to log on to the Facebook and tap into Camillus Butch Dancy's page. His first name is spelled C-U-R as in Robert, M as in Mary, I-L as in Larry, U-S as in Sam. Last name Dancy, D as in David, A-N as in Nancy, C as in cat, Y as in you, Dancy. Tap into his page on Facebook. Will it be on YouTube as well?
Tonight, later.
Tonight it will be on YouTube. Okay. All right, so we're going to go over a few rules so that we can be cordial tonight. The essential ground rules for a candidates forum are designed to ensure fairness, transparency, and a non-partisan atmosphere for both candidates and the audience. These guidelines help maintain order and promote informative discussion throughout the event. All candidates for a given office were invited. Forum and question procedures. Equal time must be given to each candidate to respond to questions, with a timekeeper signaling the time. And here's our timekeeper over here. A moderator, which is myself, will guide the question and answer session, ensuring a smooth flow. Let's promote a positive atmosphere. Candidates will be allowed to speak without interruption. and personal attacks will not be tolerated. All candidates will receive the same thoughtful questions, allowing room for follow-up, while maintaining fairness with response times. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for their opening statements, 2 minutes for their answers, and 2 minutes for their closing remarks. We encourage the audience to show respect and patience throughout the event. Let's make it an excellent experience for everyone. You guys ready? Okay. So we have 2 wards up tonight. And what we're going to do is first with your opening remarks, your opening statements. We're going to start on the far end over there. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, man? Can you hear me now? There we go. All right.
Stand up.
Okay. I was. My name is Jerry Rhodes. I live in Liverman Heights. I'm married to my best girlfriend I ever had, Rita Rhodes. We are originally from Columbia. We came here in 1975 when we got married. She started teaching at 4th Street School, and I was a caseworker at the Department of Social Services. I became Director of Social Services in 1980 and served in that capacity until 2012 when I was recruited to become the county manager. And during the next almost three years, I served as the Washington County manager. I attended College of Albemarle. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from East Carolina University. We have 2 children, both of whom are married, and we have 5 wonderful grandchildren. I'm still trying to stay active in the community, currently serving as chairman of the Board of Adjustment, vice chair of Plymouth Housing Authority, and vice chair of the Terrell Washington Partnership for Children. I am a past assistant scoutmaster. I taught 3 citizenship merit badges to Eagle Scouts. I'm also served as a past Little League baseball coach. I believe in staying active in the community, and Rita and I both are very active in the community. So that's about it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Stephen Brown, and I'm running for Ward 3. I am 40 years old. I've been here pretty much my entire life outside of going to college at North Carolina A&T. Yep, Aggie Pride. I'm a parent to a wonderful 11-year-old daughter, Skylar Brown, who lives in Windsor. I'm also an avid writer. I currently have 2 books out. Some people might have bought them already. I'm also a salesperson at Farmers Home Furniture in Williamson. So if you do need anything, let me know. I am running for Ward 3 because, like I said, I've been here all my life, and I've seen this town go through many changes, some good, some bad. And after a while of talking about it, I decided to do something about it. I can't lie to you. I have 0 political experience. So that'll be the first thing I'm going to tell you. But what I do have is heart and ideas and a dedication to start whatever it is I finish. The same dedication I have at my job is the same dedication I would have if you let me as a part of your town council. I've always believed in serving the community. I've done it through my organization, New Gamma South Attorney Incorporated, from visiting elderly homes to picking up trash, to even doing adopted highways, step classes for youth, stuff like that throughout the years. You've always been active in some shape or form in this community. And I hope with your vote that I'll be able to help you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim Williams, and I first really just want to start by saying I'm not a politician. I'm just trying to get a position. I'm a native New Yorker. My mother is originally was born down here. I was a sibling of 10, but I've lost 6 of my siblings. Um, I have 2 children, and I have a godson that I raised also, and I have a grandson that I dearly love. I moved down here after I retired from Verizon, where I was a field technician, so I used to splice the cable in the air and in the ground. I retired and moved down here in 2016. I served Ward 3 for I served two wards, not 2 wards. I served 2 terms here in Ward 3. And my passion for Plymouth is beautification and also, unity. I just want us all to just get together and make the town better. It's a small town. I don't understand why the friction is so large because it's such a small town. But I'm just here to see what we can do to make it better, to build it up, to move it forward, and not to have division. So that's my hope and dream for Plymouth. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm John Shelton. I probably don't really need the mic, because if I had it up here, I'll blow your eardrums out. So I'm originally from Thomasville, North Carolina, graduated from Thomasville High School, went to UNC Chapel Hill, where I majored in communications, which read that to be television and film production. Once I graduated from college, I moved out to California, worked in the film industry for a while. Film work started drying up, so I took a job as a security guard. People said, well, you should be a cop. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on in Los Angeles at the time that was right during the Rodney King situation, the riots, and just I wasn't going to be a cop out there. My mom was a single parent when I was born, and we lived with my grandparents. My grandfather was a police officer, so that's kind of where that interest came. So I moved back to North Carolina in 1994. I went to the police academy. I've done almost every job in law enforcement other than being on a SWAT team and being on a motorcycle and a K9. Those are the only three things I haven't done. I managed the facilities for the Durham Police Department. I managed the entire fleet of 500 vehicles. I was in charge of the quartermaster, in charge of the TASER program. I was one of the founding members of the anti-gang unit. Went up to Vance County Sheriff's Office to take over the Detective Bureau to get it straightened out. Did that. Somewhere along the way, I went back and got my master's degree in leadership and organizational change. And my last 2 years of law enforcement, I ran the Vance County Jail with a $4.2 million budget and was able to do a bunch of renovation projects and do some things with the detainees and COVID to try to manage that situation. While I was in college, I volunteered doing prison ministry at the prison in Hillsborough. I mentored kids. I worked out at the Pine Knolls Community Center in Chapel Hill, and I've carried that spirit of volunteerism along. I've worked with youth football teams. I was the announcer, and my time is up. So.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Byers, born here in Plymouth. Baby of 10, and 5 of my siblings have passed also. My father died when I was 9. Brought up on a farm and then moved into town for a short period of time. As soon as I graduated from high school, went to Elizabeth City, went down the roads to get a job. Got a job with Wachovia Bank on that day, and then I came back home to Plymouth and stayed for a short period of time. Moved to DC for 30 years, and God, I was writing some notes to myself. Unbelievable experience, and there was a large country town when I got there. Of course, it's now international, but I got a job with an attorney, worked for about there 2 weeks, kind of grabbed me at my waist at the file cabinet, and I turned him in for conduct, left there, went to work for a construction company for a small town. And then there was a attorney that hired me, patent attorney, who was also the chairman of the board of zoning, and worked for him for a few years. And then Warehouser was looking for someone. They held my job here for 3 months, and then finally told me, said, "Are you going to come back?" I said, "No." And then I got that job. They had a job opening in public affairs lobbying office, and they wanted to hire somebody. They said, "We know who it is." Got me. I worked there for 14 years, but I did a lot of work working with Business Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce there. Did you say time? It's a long story. Thank you. Should I give it to you?
Okay, so we've heard a little bit about everyone that are on the panel tonight. Now, last night, I heard a lot about what is going on now, what has happened in the past. But what we're here for is to find out what you will do if you're elected to be a choice on the council, what you will do going forward. Okay? So when you think about answering the question, let's think about the goals that you have in mind, the vision that you have in mind for the town of Plymouth. Okay? What they have in position already is all well and good. But when you get in that seat, the people are going to be looking at what you're doing. Okay? So when we ask the questions, just think about that. Ward 2. And I'll probably mix them up a little bit so we can get through the questions and give everybody a chance to answer. Some of them might could either work on either side. All right, so downtown has several rundown buildings that reduce its attractiveness. What specific strategies could you use to support the revitalization to attract residents and visitors? What specific strategies, what will you do to help make it attractive downtown if you're at home? You have 2 minutes.
That's a great question. One of the most disappointing things I know of is to ride downtown and see several dilapidated buildings. And it's a detraction from people going downtown. There are times I've sat in our restaurants downtown, and out-of-town visitors have come into those restaurants to eat. And I guess they're Googling places to eat in Plymouth as they're traveling back and forth to the beach. We need to always, and it's true for us, to put our best foot forward. So we need to do a lot to clean up some of the areas in downtown. One of the things I think first need to do is code enforcement. We need our code enforcement individual to go around and try to figure out what's going on with these buildings, why they're in such bad shape they are, and take whatever measures need to be done to clean them up. Secondly, I think that personally, I don't think town of Plymouth should own buildings. I don't think we should. I think we should sell every building. I think town of Plymouth should sell every building they have and put them back in the hands of taxpaying people. And all at the same time, if they're dilapidated buildings, require them to either repair those buildings or get rid of them. We had an opportunity for a building downtown. Had a gentleman to come forward Mr. Pittman and say, I'll take that building. I'll take that building and I'll repair it and I'll fix it up. Does two things. Gets rid of one of the worst eyesores in the town of Plymouth. And if you notice, there's a barricade around that building that says, pardon our mess, we're under construction, puts it right in the hands of the town of Plymouth. And we need to either put that building up for bids or go ahead and deed it. But we need to take a stronger action. Also, we need to work with the current folks downtown and see what we can do to support their efforts to enhance the appearance and quality of their buildings.
Same question, right? Yeah, along with what he was saying about those buildings, I believe that for one, yeah, the town shouldn't own any of those buildings. They should be sold off, auctioned off, or anything like that. But also the same for these dilapidated houses too. I live on Carolina Street, and on my street alone, there's like 2 houses that are just broken down, dilapidated. There's nothing being done about it. We have plenty of low-income families in Washington County in general. And these houses can be either torn down or rebuilt, or they can be remodeled for plenty of low-income families in Washington County. There's no reason why people can be without. So if there's a way for them to be auctioned off, or to be remodeled, or at least to low-income families, or to even as an incentive for businesses to come down here in downtown, I'm quite sure there's a way for us to work with that. And if I'm elected, I will definitely be working with the town council to try to find those solutions in any way possible.
I first want to say that we really don't have a lot of abandoned buildings downtown. I maybe need to walk it. We really don't. But a lot of the buildings, the facing of it needs help. So what I would suggest is we get together with the town, go over with the manager, look at our budget, and do this thing that we kind of suggested before. Help the store owners, like do a match program. If they're trying to fix the outside, we try to match to give them a little bit to help them fix the facade of the building too. Because you have to have beautification. No one wants to come downtown, not if you don't have a lot of shops that stay open past 2 o'clock. But if you walk it and you're like, okay, that building looks nice, but that building looks like it's stuck. But maybe that person don't have the money. They want to beautify their front, but they don't have the money. So maybe if we have some kind of program with the town to help match, to help them fix the front of their building, the facade, to make it a better place to come, and to draw the people down here also. So that would be my suggestion for the downtown, how to bring people down to this area.
Well, the beauty of it is when I'm elected, I'm going to be one of 6, so I don't have to have all the answers. And Jerry stole my thunder. Kim stole my thunder. Steven stole my thunder. So it will be a collaborative effort, really. I agree with Jerry that the town doesn't need to be in the business of being a real estate manager. We have too many buildings downtown. There's a building downtown that he talked about with the barricades around it. And across the street, the sidewalks are all chopped up from sewage repairs. And so now our wheelchair-bound residents are having to go down the middle of the street. And not even 3 months ago, we had a wheelchair-bound resident get hit by a car because he can't travel on the sidewalk. So we've got to do something. It's an emergency. This isn't something that can wait and be deliberated about and taken off the agenda. We've got to act on it. Yeah, that building, that 108 West Water Street building that's collapsed, that is town owned, and it's been on the agenda and taken off the agenda in July and August. It was not on the agenda in September, and it was not on the agenda this week. So what are they doing? What's the town doing with it? We've got to do something with these dilapidated buildings. We've got to sell them. We've got somebody who's come in and given us a timeline. If you sell me this building, I will start construction and renovation within this period of time. It'll be finished within this period of time. It'll be back on the tax rolls. We'll be collecting revenue off of it. We won't be spending $200,000 to gut it and have an unusable space, which is what they're proposing to do now, and the town keep it. Why would we spend $200,000 of our tax money to have an empty shell with bracings on the exterior walls. It makes no sense. We've got to bring common sense back to city government.
Ditto. I guess we're going down the dittos here with some of the comments and everything. That's very, very good. One of the other things that we have worked with the business people on some of their buildings and the dilapidated buildings in particular, and the one that we're talking about, we not long ago found who was the owner of the building, but was deceased. So we had to go through a lot of paperwork to make all that happen. But we have Reed Thomas, that is your National Historic personnel, and they do facades and they do grants that you have to write. And we have these old buildings. Now, what might need to be fixed inside, he will come and tell you what they can do or not do and how to write things up to make that happen. But I don't think there's been a lot of people that have used that on their facades. I'm trying to think when Betty Lou Davenport was here with the fashion store and so forth. She might have done some of that when she did the interior. But there are a number of ways that we can go avenues without hopefully having to use our tax dollars. And I'm not even sure that we can do it that way. We'd have to find out and make sure that you can do it that way. Because again, what you do for one, you have to be able to do for all, you know. Then the other one, we're doing the streetscape, and that the streets are going to be fixed. I know that's not to deal with facade, but that kind of answers. That's in the process and will be started I think it's in January. And that's going to be a big project for our community. And it's going to disrupt traffic and so forth, and you'll get complaints about that. But I don't know that anybody has come in, and I quote the code enforcer. I don't know whether.
You're doing good.
Okay.
You get it.
Okay, so I heard some mention in regards to the sidewalks for the downtown area. But what I want to know is, if you're elected, what strategies do you have to upgrade infrastructure such as the sidewalks and the roads in underserved communities? In underserved communities, what strategies do you have? What goals have you thought on if you're elected to upgrade the infrastructure, such as the sidewalks and the roads in the underserved communities? Let's start down here with Miss Ann.
As I said, we got the street walk company project coming, and we need more roads paved, and we've already done 7 streets road paving, and we have trying to think of all the things. It's so hard to put it all together. You got the interest? Oh, we did get a grant for $4.5 million, and we can try to apply. That was during the Obama situation, but it was turned away. The thought we had done. We have done, I think, about 75% of our infrastructure, and needing 25% more to go. And again, during those times, the community is going to have to work with us on this because it is disruptive and patterns change. But you've got to get it done. Washington Street was totally tore up, and it'd be torn. Those streets, different streets, will be torn up again, just like with the paving. And we have a number of streets to still pave, and that is in the works. We normally turn that over to the Public Works director, and they go out and they look at the streets, the ones that absolutely have to be paid right away, which was those 7. And they're doing that now. They get off. Our public works work very hard in trying to keep the town going, even with the infrastructure stuff. But it all takes time and it takes money, and we have to work some of it out of our budget when we don't get those grants. Grants are extremely important to our community, and it takes time to write those grants. And that's about the way it works.
Sorry about that noise. I'm so glad you asked that question. If anybody in here follows me on Facebook, Shelton for Plymouth, I wrote a dissertation about this very topic this morning. What we need to do is we need to have an inventory of all of our infrastructure needs in this town, and we need to prioritize what has to be fixed first and address those things. The number one priority is sewer. The number one priority is sewer. We can bring in all the Walmarts and big box stores that you want. When they hook their brand new sewer pipes up to these 100-year-old pipes and these pump stations that don't work, whenever you go to take a shower, you're going to have raw sewage bubbling up in your shower. It happens now. White City. If somebody's taking a shower in one apartment and somebody flushes the toilet in the other apartment, raw sewage comes up in the drains because the pump station is out. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I was driving out to get my signs for my campaign, and I see Lassiter's septic service out on Old Roper Road, and the sewer pump station is down there. He's pumping a tank full of sewage from one side of the creek, driving it 30 feet and pumping it back into the sewer line on the other side of the creek because the pump station's down. Why is the pump station down? It's down because we've got multiple different manufacturers of the pump stations, because whoever has been buying the equipment over time doesn't understand fiscal responsibility and municipal purchasing. And if you've got multiple manufacturers, then you can't have one part that fixes all of them. You've got to store parts to fix 3 different brands. So when this brand goes out, well, we can't fix it because the parts we got fixed out. And that's what's going on. We've got to fix the sewer system first. That's the number one priority. After that, because you got sewer running into the creek. You got people coming in Economy Creek with sewage on their canoes.
I also agree. It is the sewer system. My parents still live on Brinkley, and I really believe it's because our drain system, some of them go from a big pipe to a small pipe, and that's just pressure, and the water just backs up. I remember a time in Plymouth when I used to come down here, and they used to dig these ditches. They don't do that no more. So now you have ample mosquitoes. This is why you have the mosquitoes. And the sewer that backs up on the corners, and the leaves that blow in, and it's not being cleaned out. And so now you have backup that spills all the way back. Now, I think we also need to go into the neighborhoods that have the worst sidewalks. I've never seen a place that has sidewalks that are not walkable. It makes no sense. You shouldn't have to get into the street when you have sidewalks, because the sidewalks are making hills and valleys. So I think that's what they need to get a list of the worst areas first. Start with those, and as you do in the sidewalks, you do the sewer system too. And I don't know if that will have an effect on our water bill, which is insane, but you have to start somewhere. And like you said, the sewer system is a bad problem. It's been a bad problem for a while, but we need to go into the neighborhoods that have the worst problems and start there. Get your list, start that way, and then work your way in. And maybe Plymouth then can make some kind of change if you start right with the sewer system.
Well, I'm not gonna mention the sewer again. But I understand what they're saying, and that should be a top priority, along with our streets, which I know is not owned by the town, but I'm gonna mention one more thing that should be taken care of also, these parking lots. Because these parking lots are insane. And I'm sorry, but it's crazy that you want to have tourism, but the people you want to tour the town might get a tire pop if they try to go in the Dollar Tree and get something. So yeah, those parking lots have to be fixed. I know it's not owned by the town, it's probably not owned by the county, but whoever owns those should be talked to and get those fixed as well too. Along with the sewer system and also with our water bills as well too. For example, my house, Carolina Street, it's just literally me and my mom. There is no reason why we should have a $300 water bill. It's just us. And that's insane. And it's like that almost every single month. Now, once again, I'm not a politician. I'm not an expert. I don't know if the sewer's tied into it or not. But if I do get to that position, that'd be one of the things I will definitely investigate for you. And I always tell people, just like I do with my job, hold me accountable. You see what I'm saying? It's 2025. You see me on the street, you drop me on Facebook. Hey, Steve, what's going on? How come this has to get taken care of? I have questions about this. I need to know about this. And I will have to answer those questions for you. But if it's on what they said, those things need to be taken care of as well, too. But to add in an extra caveat, parking lots.
I think we're all singing the same tune up here. I agree with everything that's been said. I live on Ida Street in Liverman Heights. I've been approached by 3 residents, one of them is here tonight, about the sewer issue. She talks about the sewer backing up in her bathtub and having to clean out that stinking, nasty mess out of her bathtub. Folks, that's unacceptable. It's just absolutely unacceptable with the money that we're paying for water and sewer in this town. Now, my comments are not directed at any of the current council members or the mayor. It's been an ongoing problem and one that needs to be fixed. In regard to roads and sidewalks, I agree. There's a good initiative being started to have some sidewalks fixed downtown. Unfortunately, there's not enough money to fix all those sidewalks on Water Street. Hopefully that money will be coming. I think the town is doing a fairly good job on paving, but if you live in an area that needs paving, please let the mayor or the town council or the town administrator know about what's going on. Secondly, I've mentioned this in the past. I think we need sidewalks on Highway 64. I think it should go from along in there where the new Dollar General Market is, and it needs to go all the way to the hospital or to the rest area. I see too many people walking in the street or walking on the grass, and it's just, or even walking in the middle of the road. And I've seen it at night. Folks, that's unacceptable. Somebody is going to get killed or hurt. And I think we need to hold DOT hand to the fire and say, come put in sidewalks. You go to Dare County, you go down to Manio, they have sidewalks from the old bridge all the way on both sides, all the way to the end, right there where the new bypass goes over to the beach. Why do they have that on both sides of the road? And we have nothing. We have nothing. That's unacceptable. DOT owes our town that, and we should demand it.
Okay, so I understand that you're agreeing that these things need to be done.
I can't. I'm sorry.
You can stand right there. I understand that you all are agreeing that these things need to be done. What you think needs to be done. But what do you plan to do if you get the chair? How will you actually make these changes happen? What would you do? What suggestion would you have for going forward as to what we can implement here to get this done? Okay? What would you do?
One minute.
One.
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute. So don't re-emphasize what you already said. Just let me know what you want to do.
I don't talk that fast. That's a good question. I think town council should And I think they've done this in the past, should have a retreat and talk about what are the most pressing priorities for the town of Plymouth. And address those priorities, come together as a council and decide this is what we're going to do. Folks, we didn't get in this shape overnight. We didn't get in this shape in the past 2 years. It's been going on for a long, long time. And I think it's going to take time to fix all these issues. It's going to take time. It's going to take money. We have to decide what our priorities are and where the money is going to come from. I don't see it coming from a tax increase, first and foremost. Let me say that. So we need to look to our representatives in the General Assembly. We need to look to our regional partners that we have in Eastern North Carolina to see what they can help us do. And I think we need to work with our state representatives to make sure that we get our share of the money. We're not the only ones in this boat. There's lots and lots of little towns in this same boat, and we're just one of many competing for the same thing. If you recently heard about Belhaven, they got some money to help their situation.
You said an actual concrete plan, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, about that, to be honest with you, I need numbers to have an actual concrete plan for myself. I need numbers. I need to know how many streets need to be paved and things like that for me to come up with a concrete plan. But working with the town council, I'm quite sure I would have those numbers and I would have that data. And then from there, I'll be able to work up a solution with whoever gets elected along with it. I'll be lying if I said, oh, I have a solution right here and right now. And that's what I'm not going to do. It's not me. It's a police situation. And it's not just the council. It's the town as a whole has to come together and solve some of these issues. So for me to sit here and say that, oh, I have a plan that can fix the roads and stuff like that, no, I don't. Because I need the numbers, I need the data, I need the streets, to actually do something like that. But what I do promise is to work with these people to investigate these ways to make it work.
I say that we would go downtown, of course, to town hall, get with our manager. They should pretty much know the infrastructure, and we should see what grants that we can get to do all our roads, not just one. I mean, I know sometimes we get loans from the bank, but we can also get grants to try to get our streets correct. I mean, I think we should put in so we can have a grant writer. If we get a grant writer, that would take a lot of pressure off a lot of people because that's what that would be their only job. And that with this small town, believe it or not, that's what we need. And I'm so surprised because I'm thinking because the town is so small, they should be more than happy to try to give us money when they see that we're trying to build up our town also. So I would say we would get with the town manager, go over the worst areas and try to get grants for those areas. That's what I think that we should do.
So first of all, I welcome the opportunity to solve a 30-year problem in 60 seconds. So as I said before, the first thing we need to do is come up with a list of priorities. Obviously, we all agree that sewage is probably the number one issue. Now we've got to identify funds. As Kim said, we need a grant writer. There's no excuse that we don't have somebody in town government that can write a grant, that can go out here. And I heard last night that we've got people that are experts at grants. Well, there's grants that walk through town every year that we don't apply for. There were grants to buy fire trucks. There were grants to buy garbage trucks, and we're spending tax money to do that. There's grant money out there. We've got to find grant money. It's going to cost millions of dollars just to fix the sewer line. We don't have it. Our budget is $7 million. That's the annual budget for the town of Plymouth is $7 million. That entire budget can't fix our sewer system. It's going to cost that much money to fix our sewer system. We've got to find other funding sources. We've got to have somebody to do that.
Well, the town of Plymouth lives on grants, and they are written. The staff, including the mayor, have written a number of grants. Like I said, we got $4.5 million. But we do have to work with our town manager and relay this information as to what we want to do, like Kim said, because or he or she is ultimately in charge of our buildings, our streets. She manages that. That's her job. And then she has people working under, her, like our public works, and they go out and they look at it. And then we bring companies in that are expertise in this as to which one we just did. We did Roosevelt, but it's a constant job in work. It's a constant. But we have to hear from citizens and our public works. Their work, they go up and down these streets and making lists. And I'm telling you, they work hard and they don't get a lot of appreciation sometimes, but grants is a big one.
All right, so we're going to move over to another subject now. Both youth and adults require sports, arts, and other activities for leisure, socializing with friends, and entertainment. What is your approach to supporting recreation and arts programs for both youth and adults? What is your approach? What will you do if you get the chair to support recreation and arts programs for both youth and adults? Let's start with Ms. Sam.
1 or 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
We just recently got the Arts Council group put back together, and it's, she won the president out there, Judah Winslow. And it's really doing very well, and they've had displays. It's just been beautiful in here, and trying to support them and their artwork that they do. Very important, like people showing up to our meetings and things like that. The other one is for the kids' recreation. I've been heavily involved in that from day one since I got here, getting some of our former residents that went on to be athletics, Miami Dolphins and so forth. They came back and do camps, and trying to get them to come back and do it again with football practices and so forth. There's avenues and networking, and I'm constantly trying to do it to get these activities for our kids. The other thing on doing that is to go try to be at their games and supporting them and let them know that we appreciate what they're doing. We were once #1 football team winners. We have so much resource, and we do network and do it. But it's up also to our citizens to participate, not just your elected officials. And you don't have to have the title to get a lot of these things done. So we can all do it as a community, unity, getting these things done.
All right, so let's talk about kids. When I worked in Durham, I worked with the Night Flight basketball program through Durham Parks and Recreation. There's no reason why we can't take the basketball gym at the old school right down here on Main Street, have an off-duty police officer, an off-duty deputy sheriff sit there on a Friday evening from 8 o'clock to midnight to make sure the kids are safe, to give them an avenue to come in off the street, be supervised, and have an opportunity to run up and down, play basketball, play sports. We've got a brand new librarian. The brand new librarian is itching for programs. I've had lunch with her recently, and we talked about trying to figure out how to get a bookmobile going here in town. You know, surely there's somebody in town that will be willing to donate a Sprinter van that they can throw some books in or do homework helpers, that sort of thing. I'm a member of the Arts Council. And I've come to the meetings when possible and do what I can do as a member of the Arts Council. But one thing that I've seen lately is on Facebook, I see these things going on where they have fix-it camps, what they call fix-it camps. And what they do is they take retirees generally in the community that have a specific skill. Like I know there's somebody in here that's got blacksmithing skills. I talked to him about that at breakfast this morning. You didn't know I was going to call you out, did you? And we've got a carpenter sitting next to him. So we've got people here in town that have skills. We've got a music instructor that's running for mayor. So we've got folks in the community that are subject matter experts in different things. Why can't we take one of these spaces like this and host a fix-it or a learning situation, or bring, if your toaster doesn't work, bring your toaster up here. Who in the community knows how to fix a toaster? Teach a kid how to fix something, how to build something. That builds self-esteem. That gives them something tangible that they've done, that they've accomplished, that when they're hungry, they can make a piece of toast.
Well, I also say, of course, they have the art council, but this is not just Plymouth, this is also Washington County. Me, myself, what I would do, I would get with Washington County. We need to get together with Plymouth, Roper, and also Cresswell, because they're all small towns. So if we bring all our resources together for recreation, because you have the recreation building on Adams Street, but that's owned by the county. But if we all pull together, because we do get money for the town for recreation, and we also get it for the county. But of course, the county gets more than what the town receives. So if we pull it together and also get Roper in there and Cresswell in there and make, once again, something for Washington County, for all the kids. And that way, I think with if you construct it like that, with more money, if you have also people that will volunteer more to give their time. And like I said, you can have people come in and teach them how to do a resume for a job. You could teach, some people may want to do, like you said, automobile. You can do all these things when you group together. Because Plymouth is small, Roper is small, Crestwell is small. But if we bring them all together, because it is still Washington County, I think that will be the best way for recreation for our children. I don't think Plymouth by itself is definitely, it's not a money. It's not a lot of money. They only get a little pinch of money. But if we take all the recreation money from every town and put it together and make it for Washington County, I think the children would stand a better chance of having activities and things to do.
I'm gonna tell you, I got kind of excited about this part right here because it's something me and my friends we talk about all the time. And I've been here, like I say, all my life. I grew up here as a small kid. I've done recreation soccer, recreation basketball, football, all that stuff with my friends. So I know there's not a lot of stuff to do here when you're a kid. It's not. When I was younger, we had recreation soccer. There was an arcade. There was a movie theater. So there was always something to do. Then when I got older, it kind of deadened out. And it was like, oh, I got my learner's permit. I can drive. I'm going to Greenwood. I'm going to Williamston. That was my solution for everything, just to go to Greenwood or go to Williamston. Now that I'm 40 and now that I can see for myself and I have a child of my own, I know that gas money is expensive. So that's not going to be a solution all the time for going to Greenwood, going to Williamston. And sometimes you just want to spend your money local. One of the things I proposed was, and me and my friends talked about, was community center. Because all the kids can get together, focus on learning, GED classes, stuff of that nature. My dad, who some might know, Melvin Brown, he used to play softball out here in Macedonia. We're not doing that anymore. We have all this open space out here. What is it? City Trends, Food Lines, open lot. Why not a bowling alley, arcade? We can have a church league. Businesses can have different leagues and stuff. I like to bowl. Quite a few people out here like to bowl. Why not? My frat brother, Kevin Riddick, once a year, he gets the Washington County Fellowship Turkey Bowl, where guys, we all go out there and play football Thanksgiving morning before we eat. Why can that not be a weekend thing? Flag football with the guys. Some guys my age, some guys in their early 30s, some guys in their late 20s, still like to run around, still like to do things and stuff like that. So why can that not be a thing? Now, these are all solutions, like I said, that can be done. And building on what Ms. Williams said, you probably should be looking at combining with Columbia and Russell and things of that nature.
Art and children. I spent 2 years in School of Art at East Carolina University. I planned to major in art. So I realized I did have some talent, but not enough. So I changed majors. But I do love art. I'm glad to hear about the Arts Council. I think that's important. And I was thinking earlier about the Arts Council in this building. And this would be a great place for the Council to display some of their works. And I think it would bring more people down here. I think that's something we really, really need to support. And the thing about arts, it transcends children and all the way to older adults. Everybody's got some art talent, believe me. Everybody's got some art talent. With children, when I grew up in Columbia as a kid, I was active in 4-H and in Boy Scouts. And they were great impacts on me. We have that opportunity right here in Plymouth. We have someone who is well versed in 4-H and with Rebecca down at Cooperative Extension. And we had Troop 383 here that only one I'm aware of, that was a very, very active Boy Scout troop. And we had a lot of kids come through Boy Scouts, a lot of young men come through Boy Scouts. I know at one time we also had a very active Girl Scout program in here too. So I've kind of lost contact with all that. But what I'm trying to get is there are resources here. And if they're not existing, we need to jumpstart them and get them going again. What does it take to get that done? It takes volunteers. You know, the council can promote it and they can sit and try to show people the value of it. But it's going to take volunteers. It's going to take people in the community. Council can't do it all by themselves. And in regard to recreation, real quickly, you know, we have a fine recreation director in Randy. We need to work with the county recreation program on other recreation opportunities.
Okay, so I hear a lot about
Pulling the community.
Excuse me, may I say something? Sure. I own the garden spot over here, and right behind me is an empty lot that is fenced in. Would be a perfect pickleball court. I mean, and all you got to have is a paddle and a ball. And you can make probably 3 courts out there for adults. The children, they're in school, the schools are doing this, and the churches are doing this, but we need something for our adults also.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot about pulling the community in. How would you suggest, or what strategies and goals do you have to involve or pull the community into your suggestions for these activities? What approach would you use to get the community involved? What approach would you use if you were in the seat?
all about 1 minute.
1 minute. Thank you.
What approach would you use?
Well, one of the strongest, I hate to call it a network, but one of the strongest strengths we have in this community is our churches. And I think we can, there used to be a ministerial association. I don't know if that ministerial association is still active. Okay. That would be a good avenue is to get before the ministerial association and tell them what we're trying to do so they can help us take the message to their congregations about our need for volunteers. We have to identify what we need, first of all, and then give them the message to take, and we need to be a part of that message also. That's, I think, the best way to get out and get the word out about what we want to try to accomplish. There are other groups around we can work with. We got senior groups. We've got got this group, Leslie, that can help get the word out about what we're trying to do. And so there's a way to get the message out in the community about what we're trying to do.
Personally, I found that one of the best ways of getting the word out, honestly, is been through social media. I've been posting on Facebook about my election. I'm quite sure some other candidates have as well, and they've gotten some results from that. So I would say between social media and just talking to people, and honestly, you have a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of youth who already want to do something. They just need to know what to do and where to go. So the energy is there. We just have to find a way to actually get it and actually use it. Once again, when I was coming up as a kid, there was always something to do around here. Like we had soccer, we had karate classes. When I got done with that, I was over at the gym at Randy's for what? Basketball was Saturday morning. You see what I'm saying? So there was always something to do. And then, like I said, as I noticed as I got older, it kind of died down a little. But as a kid, you're thinking to yourself, you're just getting older. Nothing's changed. You're just getting older. That's all. But now that I'm older, I'm seeing like, yeah, things have slowly just changed.
Well, I think you can get the word out through the churches, of course, but I also think that flyers, um, the town make announcements, so all these we can all come together and have everybody give their suggestions on what they think we can do. Have the youth, especially, get them more involved to have them come by word of mouth and posting up flyers, supermarket, Chinese restaurant, places where they go, so they would know that we're interested in knowing what they want for the town. Because I don't think you ask adults all you want, but half the adults don't know what the younger crowd wants. And if we could get them with these flyers to come down and give us their suggestions, then we can go from there. But until we do that, we may have things that is only going to bring a certain age group. And we usually never touch on that 15-year-old and up. And those are the important ones, because those are the ones who will be leaving, and those are the ones we want to come back.
Okay, so we talked about getting the message out. Question: those of you that live in Plymouth, when was the last time one of your council members came into your neighborhood that it wasn't election year and had a meeting in your neighborhood or in your ward to get feedback? Never.
Never. I didn't.
Right? So I will commit to you that when elected, I'll be out in the community. I'm out in the community now. I was out at lunch this morning. I was out at breakfast this morning. I'm out on the street all the time. I stop in at all of our local businesses. We've got opportunities to get the word out, but we have to be leaders. You can have all the people that want to volunteer that you want, but if you don't have a leader or leaders that want to get out there and motivate them and give them a purpose, then it's gonna squander. You can set up all the programs you want to, but if you don't have leadership to manage these programs, they're not gonna last. So we, as council members, have to be in the community. We represent you. We don't represent ourselves.
Well, in the past, we have used flyers at the churches. We have called people, networking that way. With the Explorer Post kids and our Faith in Blue kids and our ROTC kids, when we meet with them, and we do that on a monthly basis, we have them come in and we ask them questions as what they're looking for. And they've told us, and we've tried to act on those. And they are very opinionated on what they're looking for. And when I was growing up, we didn't have anything either. We went to other towns, driving around the barbecue place, or hamburger joints, whatever. But we know it's an issue, and we can try and work it out. I think this council group that's running, they're offering some good suggestions to work together to make this happen and for the citizens. But we do have community nights, and we had one not too long ago at Carol Trump's restaurant. My minute's up. Okay.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about economic development. Inclusive growth is not just an idea. It's essential for a strong and more equitable community. How will you ensure that economic development truly benefits all, particularly low income and historically underserved communities? How will you, if you're elected, ensure that economic development benefits everyone?
Oh, we're equal.
2 minutes.
That's a tough question. Economic development is a tough question. It's a tough one to get your hands around. I think, there are a lot of people that feel left out of what's going on with economic development. And there's got to be a way to bring those folks to the table, to be part of the conversation, be part of the discussion. So I think we need to go to the wards, each ward, and try to identify people that we can bring together as a group, a committee, or whatever, on a regular basis and talk with them and get feedback about what they want, what they see, what their concerns are, and what their issues are. If we don't work together as a community, then we'll fall together as a community. And so we've got to bring all the young, the old, everybody, every neighborhood to the table, some representatives. They can go back in their communities and neighborhoods and share information, get the concerns and bring them. And then we come together and try to work to find the things that we have common ground on and work together on those things. Well, tangled up.
Yeah, wake up.
Now I believe, let's see, yeah, the median family income here is like, yeah, $26,000. Could be more than that. As far as the economic development of this town goes, one thing, once again, it goes right back to the housing. We have to do something about these houses. They could be used for low-income families, rehab centers, centers for domestic violence, group homes, things of that nature. I've always been one with helping the community through my organization or whatever, and I would still try to do that as a part of town council. One of the things I would like to implement is, and which would definitely spur growth in the town as well too, is just the improvement overall of 64. We only have what, as far as income goes, if you're not working at Dumtar, school, or hospital, you're not really having any income. So we need another big franchise to come into town, a manufacturer, a distributor, something like that that'll bring more jobs, more income to this town. Another thing I think that would help would be more recognizable businesses on 64. There's no reason why we have millions of dollars that come through 64 every year that shoot straight to Nag's Head, straight to the beach. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a Starbucks, Cookout, or some other business on 64 that will attract people, something recognizable. There's no reason why we shouldn't have a seafood restaurant, a seafood restaurant, or even a steakhouse on 64, somewhere for us and for tourists that would generate some money. If you want to get people downtown, you got to give them a reason to take that left. So if 64 looks great and downtown looks great, they're going to want to know what's going on downtown. So that's my opinion on that.
I feel one way for economical growth, as they said before, Plymouth, the town shouldn't be real estate. So if we take our buildings, and I think that we need to take town hall and also the police department off of Water Street. That's a lot of money that we can get for that real estate. And if we have someone purchase it, that means they purchase it. That's a business. They got to hire people to work there. That's more taxes for us. that we can distribute to other things. So I think that's the main thing. We should find out what buildings we have, sell them, and we definitely need to get our two departments off of Water Street and sell those and bring the money in. I think that would be one of the greatest way to make and also there's a gentleman in Washington County, Kelly Chesson, and he does economical development or something too. So partner up with him too and make changes.
So the latest data available, the median household income in Plymouth, North Carolina is $30,463. The median household income in the county as a whole is about $6,000 more than that. The median household income for the country is $66,000. We're not even at the halfway point for the median household income for our country. That's a problem. 83% of our population is living paycheck to paycheck at best, which means only 17% of our population has any disposable income. So what do we do about that? Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, those are not the answer. Those do not move the needle on the median household income. Nucor, a steel manufacturing company that's in Hertford, now they had a down quarter, but there's a company called U.S. Forged Rings that makes steel pipes that's looking to co-locate there with that company, with Nucor. All right, so what do? Well, we've got Mr. Chesson, who heads up the economic development for the county. He had a community conversation here a couple of months ago. The mayor was here. Nobody else from town council was here. The town of Plymouth does not, for whatever reason, the current government does not want to partner with the county. We can't get anything done that way. We're all pulling in different directions. We all have to pull in the same direction. The United Way was here. The community college was here. When we know that a business like that is coming into the area, we need to figure out somebody in this area, Kelly Chesson or somebody else needs to contact them. What jobs are you going to be hiring? And then get up with a community college and United Way and figure out how we're going to train our people to get those jobs. Those are $50,000 and up jobs. That moves the needle.
Yes, we do need to continue to reduce the poverty level with bringing in businesses in here for our adults and for our kids. And we are working with the school system on trade for the kids and so forth. Welding class went to Norfolk to take a group of kids, and they were just blown away with it. One is going into welding because not everybody is college mature. They want to do something on their own and build their own business. And a couple of the men there had two different businesses, and they started from nothing. The kids were impressed with that. There is so many good ideas and putting it together. The kids are really interested in working with us and listening to us. They want to learn. They want to have a job when they get out of school. And some of them, as I said, they want to go to college. Some of them don't. But we can help make all that happen. But it all takes time and money. And I feel real good about where our future is in this community. It is going to grow. It is going to grow. And our kids are going to grow. But one thing that we do have a 500 company that is looking. You know what's killing a lot of things that are dying before they get here? It's the internet. We can't have this dissertation that's on the internet that's going on because it shows we're not working together and we're not being unified. And they're not going to come and deal with all that. They want people that are headed in moving our community forward.
Okay, so we have a town that is divided per se, in the community. What can be done to promote unity in the town of Plymouth? If you get the chair, what will you do to promote unity in the town of Plymouth? What would you do? Not something that's already been going, because if you're doing it now and it's not working, then you need to get something else to do. So if you get elected in the chair, we're not going to play the same old buddy games. We're going to do something different going forward to be productive. If you get in that chair, what would you do? What would be your goal to unify Plymouth?
You like Civil War?
Yes. What would you do? 2 minutes.
You know, several years ago, there was a human relations council in the town of Plymouth. I guess that's been dissolved and gone away for some time now. I saw value in that because it brought together people from all kinds of backgrounds throughout the town of Plymouth. I'd like to see that started again. And I'd like to see it set up as an advisory group to the town council. I think that's important. You know, there's an old saying that the most divided day or the most divided time in a community is on Sundays, because everybody goes to different churches. And that's understandable. That's the way we were raised, and I understand that. But outside of that, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. We got to figure out ways to draw in on some of our events and some of the things that are occurring, people from everywhere around the community. I think the council needs to do a better job communicating in all the communities throughout the town of Plymouth. But I still would emphasize the Human Relations Council and put on their people that we know are going to work together and have a unified message they can take back into their different areas of Plymouth.
Honestly, I think the best way for unity is to actually produce results. I don't know if any of you guys have been on Facebook or been on the Plymouth page or anything like that, but some of those comments sometimes get kind of nasty. And the only reason why it's like that is because people are frustrated that their voices aren't being heard, or they're not getting the results they want. And I've heard this before. I'm quite sure everyone's heard this before, but a house divided cannot stand. So my proposal, honestly, is to work with the council to get the results needed to show people that we can work together. There's no reason that you guys can't work together. One of the things I have put forth people when I've been going door to door talking to people is the suggestion of a back to school festival, back to school. Year after year, we just depend on Bear Festival. Oh my God, it's a Bear Festival. Why not do something different? Back to school conference for the kids. Church can donate book bags, clothes, stuff like that. Free haircuts for the kids when they get back to school, stuff like that. Something that will bring the whole town together and the kids can have fun at the same time. Not knocking what we do every year for Bear Festival, but it should be time for something different. We should have a back to school festival, a fall carnival, something that'll get everyone in town excited. So when they go to the town, they see all these different faces, they know we're all unified and together.
I feel the same way. I think we need to have more events to bring people out together. Just like having this last night, I seen people talking with people that I never thought they would talk with each other. So I think this is a good thing. So it's just a matter of having things to get the whole community out. And you have to be careful of what you have, because you don't want to have something that you bring some people out and some people don't come out. So it has to be things that everybody would come out. I remember when I was young, they used to have the fair. What happened to the fair? It brought everyone out. Everyone came out, people gathered, people talked who didn't know each other. You would meet new people while you was waiting for something. And that's what brings a community together. So they need to just get together and do more community activities to bring the community out so the community can know each other. I go around my ward. I drive through my ward. I do things for my ward. And I tell my people, if I can do it for you, it'll get done. If I can't do it for you, you know, because it won't get done. But I do things for people in other wards. But I try to talk to them, and I always tell them, hey, come out, come out. You got to come out. You got to meet the people to know the people. So you have to come out.
You know, Kim and I had a conversation a few weeks ago, and we were talking about she's from New York. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived all over North Carolina. Neither one of us have ever lived in a place that was as divided as this place is. And I don't understand it. You know, and going back to this summer, we had a First Friday event down at the Bear Market. On Friday night, there were 2 black people and everybody else was white. On Saturday morning, there was a back to school drive with a phone festival. There were 2 white people and everybody else was black. So it's not an issue of people won't come downtown. It's just that people don't commingle. Why? Kids, little kids, they don't understand racism. They don't understand skin color, right? They learn that from us. It starts with us. We teach our kids to discriminate against other people for whatever reason. We have to stop. We have to commit to stopping. And then if folks aren't going to come into town, I suggested a couple of months ago that in front of the old 4th Street School, we have a community concert. Take it to that community. If that community's not coming into town, take the event to them. It grew legs. It seemed like it was going to happen. And next thing you know, it just disappeared. And I don't know who got in whose ear to make it stop happening, but everybody was excited about it. And it seemed like it was going to happen. We had people to donate generators. People were going to donate porta johns. We had folks that were going to help find musicians to play. I mean, I really thought it was going to happen. And next thing you know, people stopped returning my phone calls. People wouldn't answer my messages on email or Facebook. I can speculate, but that wouldn't be right, right? But we need to go into the communities. We can't rely on the community to come down here. We take it out into the communities. Take the town council out into the communities. I said that earlier. That's how we broach this.
I'm glad you brought up the fact that you went to a community event and community event and so forth. We have a lot of volunteers, and I'll just tell you one. She works at the police station. She is involved with the Faith in Blue, and she's also involved with the Explorer Post. We just had an event when school started, and backpacks were given. Miss Fields had one not too long ago, and it was backpacks and clothes were given for them to come participate. These events have been heavily citizens showing up from everywhere. And it is, as Kim was saying, people were talking to everybody and so forth. But we have to get off of the skin color. I'll just tell you, going to Roper, one gentleman stopped in a trip that we were all involved in. He says, I'm different. And I said, how are you different? And he did this. I said, you mean the color of your skin? I looked at me and I said, I'm different too. My skin's a little bit lighter than some and a little bit darker. It's what is in our heart and we show every day. Not our colors, not what we've got on. It's what's in our heart. And I'm 24/7 for anybody to call. I've got a lady that just called me this past week and I said, I can't get together with you right now, but we already got an organization. I said, I want to introduce you to the person that has made this that her organization grow that is such a benefit to the community, but you don't want to turn them away because they have something to add. We just have, again, to work with each other and try to understand each other's issues and try to work around those so that we can all make these issues. The bad ones go away and the good ones go forward.
Okay, so now I want you to think in your closing remarks what your primary objective of your candidacy is.
Could you ask that one more time?
What is your primary objective of your candidacy? And if you are elected, what are the strategies that you have or the goals that you have to accomplish that? And make that your closing remark. Okay? What is your primary objective? If you were elected into the chair today or tomorrow, what would be your first goal? What would you want to happen immediately? And what would you do to make it happen? 2 minutes.
Thanks, Cesar. All right, my closing remarks. I hope that my passion has been evident. I really feel strongly about the things that I'm saying and the things I believe in. I feel strongly in the potential of Plymouth. Fiscal responsibility is top priority. And with fiscal responsibility, that includes repairing infrastructure. It includes liquidating town-owned properties. We've mentioned all these things, the sewer repairs. We have to prioritize that. But the biggest thing is it's not me. I've said that before. It's 6 of us. It's 6 council members and a mayor. And we've all got to figure out how to get on the same page. They're not on the same page. They haven't been on the same page. We've got to get folks on the same page. Because when the mayor goes to Raleigh, like he's done before, and tries to cobble together some funding or get some resources into town, they come into town and the town council doesn't even want to hear their presentation. How does that make us look? It's horrible. We've got to be a strong group. We've got to have priorities. We've got to have a vision. What do we want Plymouth to look like? I've got an idea. Kim's got an idea. Steve's got an idea. Jerry's got an idea. Mary Ann's got an idea. We've all got different ideas on what we want Plymouth to look like. All of you have different ideas. We've got to get together and figure this thing out. We can't keep butting heads with each other because we're not going to get anywhere. We've got to get on the same page, figure this thing out, and get this town moving in the right direction. What's been going on for the last 20 or 30 years is not getting it done. Mr. Pittman is downtown revitalizing buildings in spite of, not because of. We have to be more friendly to businesses. We need to have a packet at town hall. Somebody comes into Plymouth, they want to open a business, give them the packet.
I just want to let everybody know that me, myself, I'm a one agenda, one accord kind of person. The things that I think that we need to immediately start doing is not being real estate, not owning real estate. That's one of the top things that we need to do. Another thing we need to do is we need to get to Washington County. The separation is crazy. I've never seen nothing like it before. We have to make our council. We need to be binded together. We can agree to disagree, but we need to come together because it's for the good of the people. I myself, I opened up myself to everyone in my ward. I go out, I talk to people, I'm approachable. I help people in my ward, people outside of my ward. But I just really came down and moved and brought my money to Plymouth for us to be a united town, So I can invite my friends down so they could come down and see how nice Plymouth is. And maybe they want to come and transplant down here. But we cannot keep having our town be so divided. We have to find a way to bring us together. And not just the town, but the town and the county too. I'm telling you, it's very important for us to become one. I've never seen so much separation, even with the police force and the sheriff's department. We're all one. We need to be one. And that's one thing that I definitely want to work on, grouping them together.
Well, I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I'm not a politician. I don't own any businesses downtown. I don't own any businesses on 64. So I have nothing invested at all outside of just wanting what's best for Plymouth, what's best for the people, what's best for you guys. That's my only goal, my only function. I believe that a town council not only has to work together, but it has to be efficient, has to run like a well-oiled machine. And we're not getting that right now. So we got to replace some parts. And hopefully I can be one of those parts that gets put into that machine. One thing I can say that I believe in is I believe that if we make 64 better, if we make downtown better, if we increase the education with our kids, with our kids and our youth, town as a whole will be better and everything will be unified. A lot of stuff, especially like I said, I know it's on Facebook, it's not just outright hatred, it's just frustration. You see what I'm saying? And me personally, like I say, I love downtown, but I get off work at 6 o'clock. When I go downtown, everything closed. So how can I invest in anything when I get off work, everything closed? So something has to be done about that. I mean, realistically, well, on Friday night, Saturday night, if I want to do something, if me and my friends want to do something, where are we going to go? We're going to Greenville. We're not investing no money here on Friday night, here on Saturday night, when we should be. So overall, that all has to change. You're talking about wanting tourism to come to town. You can't have tourism, everything shuts down at 6 o'clock. So that's just being realistic. Once those things change, you will see the income. You will see the people come down. You will see people saying, no, I'm not going away to Greenville to buy a pair of sneakers, or I'm not going to Greenville to go to the movies. I'm staying right here at home. So once you do that, you'll see the changes come about, and you'll see those attitudes change as well too.
Rita and I came to Plymouth as newlyweds 50 years ago. We just recently celebrated our 50th anniversary. I will tell you this, she's a good woman. We've had numerous opportunities to leave over the years. I've had opportunities to go to other counties. I've even had opportunities to go to work at the state level in Raleigh. And I turned them all down because I like Plymouth. I do. And Rita and I came from Columbia up here. This was a big town. It was a big deal to us. Coming from Columbia to Plymouth, boy, that was a big deal back then as young folks. But I do like Plymouth. There are some very, very good people here. I believe Plymouth is right on the edge of letting loose. When I say let loose, I mean good things happening. As a town council, we have to identify those, we have to support those, and we have to advocate those. But more importantly, you have to also. Town council can't solve all these problems that have been developing over the years by themselves. It takes off. Finally, I want to say this. I want to thank Wesley and his group for having these events last night and tonight. Thank you, Wesley. I've been to several of these. This is by far the best one I've seen. And so thank you. I thank you. Secondly, I want to thank all of you here tonight. I want to thank all of those who came last night to hear this. I hope you've heard some good stuff. I hope you'll take the messages that you heard from the mayors and the Ward 1 people last night. And I hope you'll take the messages you've heard from all of us on Ward 2. And all of them on Ward 3. And take that to heart and take that message forward. My time is up, but again, I thank you very much for your time. This is my last trip. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Said she thought I was trying to be quiet. How can you be quiet when you've had unbelievable projections for our future, all positive? And how are we going to make it happen? One at a time, building a relationship and working with people's ideas, all of our citizens' ideas. We have been in so many different rooms, it's stickies. And maybe we have to go back to that because we've got a lot of people that have left our community and a lot of new people that have come into our community. There and the resources, but that river out there is our diamond to this community. And it's a God's gift. If you don't believe it, go out there and look. I had some woman some years ago said, we had a beautiful beach. Well, no, you don't, because if you hit that water, you're going to go under. so anyway, we have an unbelievable opportunity. You've heard everybody wants to work with each other and change things. And the way other people are using the internet, let's get, we don't have to participate. I'm not on any social media. I refuse to be there. Pick up the phone, call me. I'm 24/7. 24/7. I can go back to sleep. Thank you.
So we do appreciate everyone that has come out, either last night and on tonight or both nights. We particularly like and appreciate the participants out here. But when you go out to vote, when voting starts on tomorrow, your early voting will start on tomorrow. Okay. Ward 2, what area do you represent?
Generally, Ward 2 encompasses the town that is south of Highway 64. And basically, that's from about where the rest area hospital is, help me, Mayor, to about where Dollar General Market.
All the way down to Gleaves and Jackson.
That's right. That's right. Gleaves, down to Gleaves, right. You got that right. Yeah, I'm sorry. But generally, it's everything south of 64 that's within the town.
You have a little bit in Creekside,
Okay, a little in Creekside. Okay.
And Ward 3, what part of Plymouth do you represent?
Washington Street West, from 64 to the.
There's a little bit of.
It goes down all the way to 64 Wilson Street. It's kind of like
Wilson Street extension.
You've got 64, and Washington Street's coming up, and it goes to all the way to the river, and then you go back to the housing part, and then to the country club, and then out of the country down Wilson Street to 64. That's us.
Okay, so there you have it. You know which areas each ward represents. I don't recall hearing anybody say anything about Water Street. Who?
Washington Street, that way is 3. So Water Street from Washington Street that way is
Okay, so
Goes to
Mr. Shelton, Jefferson Street.
okay, great. So when you go out to vote and you will start voting on tomorrow, think about everything that you have heard in the past 2 nights. Now, if they weren't here, then they didn't represent themselves. So you're going to have to use what was here to make a vital decision as to who's going to represent you best. let's not go into another term, and I believe y'all guys have 2 years. 2 years. For the next 2 years of doing the same thing that you've been doing. Let's practice something different. Let's go in with a positive attitude of change. So in order to get change, what you have to do? You have to adapt to change. Maybe you have to change up some folk. Maybe you can't have your buddy on this time. Maybe you have to get rid of your buddy and still be friends. But go in there with a positive mind and a set attitude that we're looking out for ourselves. We're looking out for ourselves when we go to vote. And we're going to vote for the person that's going to best represent us. Is that fair? Is that fair? All right. So keep that in mind. Again, we thank you all for coming out on tonight. And the ones that came out last night and played 2 nights with it, we appreciate you coming out. And we appreciate you candidates. And I pray that you all be productive and successful in your endeavors. Have a good night and be safe.
Thank you.
Share.